Hi everyone, welcome to Agape Book Club. My name is Greta, and today we are doing our book review for Haunting Adeline, Book 1, The Cat and Mouse Duet. I've got my little buddy, Jax, he's on my table, shaking his little tail around, so you'll see him for a little bit. And as I kind of talk through it, I will give a spoiler alert when I'll go into a little more detail in my thoughts and my review. So I'll do a countdown. I am going to go ahead and just say now that we are going to move forward with book number 2 to go ahead and read this cat and mouse duet. And reading the a lot of these reviews, there has been a very mixed review, and a lot of it is like the book is extremely dark. Like everybody has some crazy feelings about it, right? It's like, ooh, that's a lot of trigger, that's really dark, you know. It's a complicated one. It's definitely gives you a complex feel as far as things that were going on in there. I mean, morally, in a lot of ways, there's a lot. There's a lot, guys. There's a lot. All right, so I'm going to read some of the non-spoiler comments that I came across. I'm not going to read every single one, but I am going to read a few. Let's see how. So this one says, I feel like for a romantic book, this was a bit too long, 600 pages, and it's a duet, and the other one is a little longer. Did not need it to be this long. At one point, I was more intrigued with her great-grandmother's story than the book itself. The book has a story, but she's also working towards trying to figure out what happened to Nana's mother in the book as well when she finds a diary. So I will tell you that. Very disturbing read is what another person said. I will tell you the actual books themselves are beautiful. Beautiful. The physical copies are absolutely beautiful. I think that they're one of the most beautiful books that I've purchased. So just saying. All right. Another review is you'll see me DNFing this at 50% with no regrets at all. For those of you who do not know what DNF means, it means did not finish. So this person did not want to finish this book about 50% in. It said, I think H.D. Carlton, the author, is simply not the author for me. And that's okay. Haunting Adeline isn't bad, and at first I thought I was hooked, and I was kind of interested in Adeline and Zaid's side stories, definitely more than I was into the stalker romance subplot. It's kind of dark romance that only works because the toxic love interest is hot. So I felt like most of the forbidden attraction was based on looks rather than on uncontrollable feelings. I guess what I'm trying to say is that this is dark, yes, and also kind of hot in some scenes, not to mention decently written, but it wasn't the kind of dark, hot, and definitely written book that I happen to like, okay? Or maybe I outdid it and desensitized myself for reading vaguely after Darkly Ever After series by Mila Crawford. So, which, by the way, I am putting that on my list. Don't remind me, guys. Remind me. Because it looks good. I looked it up. It looks good. Another person says, you haunt me. It's only fair that I return the sediment. So, let's see. I'm looking for my tracker here. All right, and then another one says, the book's notes and trigger warning both scared and excited me when I began this. I can certainly appreciate how the author drew attention to many of the horrible things going on in our world without sugarcoating them. Things we forgot about most of the time because we're focused on our own lives. And then she does a quote. It says, I'm going to make you fall in love with every messed up part of me. And that's not, messed up is not the word. And she says, yeah, or, hear me out, maybe go for therapy. You know, to fix said parts of you instead of clearly move past the denial stage now, right? That's pretty funny. Some of these things crack me up. All right, this might be the craziest, most effed up book I've ever read, but dang fun it has been. The House of Mirrors scene gave me nightmares. Oh my goodness, what the heck was that? I was hooked at the beginning, lost me just a little bit in the middle, and my jaw was dropping at the end. Yeah, we'll talk about the House of Mirrors later. And this one says, I just loved Zaid's obsession. Adeline was funny, though, and did really well going up against Zaid and all his craziness. They were amazing together. I've been wanting to read an H.D. Carlton for a while, and this book ended up being so good. Just a warning though, this book is dark, extremely dark, like I guess dubious is what she's trying to say. Dubious consent, stalking, and violence. So if that's your jam, read this book. I love Zaid, our stalker psycho hero. He's obsessed with Adeline from the very moment he lays his eyes on her. She's an author, and she's just moved into her grandmother's haunted estate, which puts her on Zaid's radar. And Zaid is also known as Z, who's a powerful figure in the underground world and runs a company and saves victims of trafficking, which means he'll go above and beyond to save abused women and children. All right, so that is all I have for reviews from others that are not spoiler alerts. So again, we are going to do book 1 and 2 for February, January and February. So we're done with 1. And I'm going to write down that Darkly Ever After right down here so we don't forget it. If you have any books that you would like to recommend, please let me know. And her name was Mila. Was it Mila Crawford? Mila Crawford. I have Peter Swanson, 8 Perfect Murders and Her Every Fear. The 13th Child by Aaron A. Craig. 12 Nights Before Christmas by Jake Steen. Brother by Ania Alburn. And The Ritual I put on here just for me. We didn't read it last year, and I still want to read it. So yeah, we have 11 other books here. So in March, what we'll do is we'll roll a die to see which one we're going to read. A D12. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I've already started Haunting Adeline, book 2. So it's Haunted Adeline and then Hunted Adeline is what the second book is called. And I bought both of them and they're gorgeous. Gorgeous. Oh, I have the second one right here. So this is the cover of the second one. It's so gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I mean, it really is a gorgeous book. So I love it. I love the pictures and stuff in it. It's gorgeous. Okay. So I just had to show that again. Okay. So I'm going to do a countdown and then we're going to get into the spoiler alert reviews, and then I'll share my review and what I'm going to give it as my own personal review. And we will put that into our challenge. Oops, wrong book. Of course it is. We will put that into our binder here, and we'll save the money for each star. This is the book club tracker for this year. You do not have to save money, but I am going to do it for each star. There's 5 stars here. Let's go ahead and just do like $2 per star. I think that's what will be good, because then that would give us at least 10 if we want, you know, if we have one that's a 5-star. All right, so countdown: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's get into this. Okay, so some of these comments, let me go into. So this one person said, what I have an issue with is the male main character being one of them, and what she means by one of them is one of the horrible people, and not just the romanticizing him. I can accept a lot of effed up stuff with more morally gray characters and the likes, but romancing a rapist is where I draw the line. This person said, let's talk about Zayd first. Other than him being egotistic, arrogant, and thinking he is the she's, he's also effing ironic. You can't go around saving trafficked girls, killing the bad guys, and acting like some hero, which, by the way, did not succeed in me liking him, as you can see, before going and doing the same thing to the female main character. He stalks her, sends her a person's hand, F's her without consent, which is some of y'all I didn't know. If some of y'all didn't know, I call that rape, and leaves her crying her eyes out, all in the same "you'll love me one day." Excuse me? Not to mention, he took one look at her and bam, insta-lust, then misinterpreted as insta-love, and oh, I shall make her mine. Speaking of first times. Why can I not read this, that, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so, and he had sex with her with a gun. That's gotta hurt. And to add to that, a gun is freaking dangerous. It's not some toy. I can't imagine that what these girls I'm saving is going through, or how they feel, and that's in quotations. And she says, yes, dude, you clearly can. Because if you truly were empathetic and okay in the head, then you wouldn't have done what you did. And then it says, half the things this guy said was pure BS, or so cringe and fake. She said that the only time I connected with Adeline, and this is straight up the smartest thing that has been uttered in this book, is when she said, that's effed up, you're going to jail. She cuts in, discuss curling her lip. Actually, I hope you're sent to prison and sentenced to death. At first, the mind games of the cat and mouse were quite intriguing, as well as suspenseful aspect of it. However, a gradual build-up of thrill was foregone, which disappointed me heavily, as bits of the male character looking at her through the window were gripping. But okay, let's not go slow. A dual POV was also a score, since I love those, and furthermore, involving CS actually excited me, but I could have given it all up if it meant having to deal with people like Zayd. This could have been great. All right, and then a little more. I don't need to say anything about the little more, because we're going to talk about that. So, okay, let's get into it. Let's talk about the characters first. So, Adeline. How did I feel about Adeline? So, about Adeline, I felt that Adeline was a little immature in a lot of ways, and kind of reckless. So I don't know. I didn't dislike Adeline. I just thought those were some things that caught my attention in her character. But other than that, I really didn't have a problem with Adeline. Now, let's talk about Zayd. That dude needs to take it down a notch. He is very cocky. Like, super cocky. And that's honestly turns me off. I like a very masculine character. I like someone who has that A-type personality, but he had more of a, and I mean, even a stalker personality, I'm to a point, is okay if it's not like a real stalker. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know. He was a little much. He was a little much. He did kind of think he was the gift to this world, and it was kind of annoying how much he thought he was everything. I did, like, the way that the book kind of got their relationship started was too rapey for me. I was like, yeah, that's rape. That's not, caring about somebody. That's not worried about them being hurt. And it was weird how the way he talked about the children and stuff and how they felt, it didn't seem to matter when it came to Adeline in that sense. But at the same time, Adeline was kind of into it from the beginning because she wasn't calling the cops or anything like that. But, like, what if she did? Because her actions weren't really lining up with, what was going on either. So it was a little odd. I didn't really like the way that they came together. I'm kind of more of like the building, the feelings building and stuff like that. Maybe you're watching her. Like have you seen the series You? Like, kind of like that. Like, you see her and it kind of builds. I mean, yeah, you have that instant obsession, but I don't know, it gave me a different feel. It didn't feel like the series You. It felt a little off. However, there was a lot of stuff going on. Like, I could not, like, he cut that dude's hands off. Like, that's crazy. That was crazy. That was a crazy part. The gun part, I didn't care either way for it. It didn't bother me. I mean, I think it would bother some people. Like, for me, that didn't really bother me. But, I mean, as long as it's not loaded, that didn't really bother me too much. I think there are a lot of people who have that gunplay kink and stuff like that. But if it's not loaded or if it's a fake gun, that's even better. To each its own. But if it was loaded, yeah, that's dumb. Don't do that. That will kill you. I mean, accidents can happen, just saying. Then, I mean, this book was rough. Because it's like, ooh, am I a bad person for thinking like this? But I just think, people think different things. And some people may like all that. I don't know. I know there's like the kink of being raped and stuff like that, and people like that kink, and I like a dominant personality, but I don't like I want somebody, I don't want to have to ask for something at times. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain this. Lordy. Okay. So it's okay if you have the conversation with your partner or with a person that you have consensual sex with and say, I would like, I would like you to take control, or to, I want you to be aggressive or take control. But kind of like you have to have those conversations with your partner about what point. Like, you can't have your partner come in the door. I mean, it's hot and sexy to have a partner come into the door and rip your clothes off and, take you right there on the door, or, whatever. I mean, yeah, that's hot. That's sexy. That's steamy. Some, we like that kind of stuff, but not if it's not consensual. Just saying. So I did have a little bit of problem with that. I didn't really like the way that he handled and the way he treated Adeline. To me was not very nice. And then he would sit there and get mad if somebody else said something like that. But he did that. He was doing that. It was kind of hypocritical. But I didn't dislike the book. I do want to make that clear. I didn't dislike it. I will say that carnival mirror scene. Oh, yes, please. Like, that was hot. That was the hottest thing in the book, in my opinion, as far as the sex stuff went. I really didn't mind that at all. I was like, whew, good lordy. But that was after they already been, having, bazinga together. That's what I'm going to call it, bazinga. Bazinga together. So, I mean, it didn't really bother me. I hope people don't get mad at me for this review. This is just what was going through my head, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who have different opinions. And that's okay. That's okay. It's a long book. I am reading the second one. I am enjoying the story. I really like listening about her grandma and seeing that she was able to, her great-grandmother, and, figure out who actually killed her. That was pretty cool. The cliffhanger. What the heck? What? Like, that was, like, an intense cliffhanger. Like, how are you going to end like that? And, by the way, did anybody else think that Dea was the person behind Zaid with the gun to his head? Because I kind of thought that. So, I liked the story of what's going on. I just don't like the relationship with Adeline and Zaid in the way it started. But I do feel like as the book went on, it got better. Because now at this point, they've already, they got past the weird stuff. I just thought the beginning stuff was very controversial and not really nice, the way that it became. But if you ignore that and you think, oh, you know what, they were consenting and they were good, and now we're moved past that, and now it's good. So I just didn't like the way the relationship started. I do like the way that the relationship is now, if that makes sense. So, gosh, again, it's just a hard thing to have a conversation about what's right and wrong and all of that, because everybody is so different in how they feel. And that's okay. We have the right to make our decisions about what we feel on those. And goodness gracious, this ink. And that's okay. I don't mind. I hope nobody gets mad at me for having an opinion, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, this one was the first time that I ever felt like I was nervous. I'm nervous about giving a review because it's so controversial, and I don't want to make anybody upset. Because honestly, though I'm saying that that's how I feel right now, I mean, who knows? Like, things controversial like that are just hard because it is so complicated. It's complicated feelings. Let me just say that I'm so happy I'm not living a life like that. Just saying. I don't fantasize about that book. I don't fantasize about that life. I don't want that life. I don't want that fantasy. So, I'm giving it 3 stars. And I am excited to see book number 2. Now that we've kind of got past that stuff. Usually it's like the first book you always like the best because you get the love story, or, yeah, I mean, this one didn't work out that way. Yeah. That's what I have to say about it. Again, this is just solely my opinion of it. It is definitely, I don't condone killing. I don't condone anything like that. So all of these books we read are going to have things that I don't condone. But this one, for some reason, hit me a little differently. So that's what I have to say about it. I hope it doesn't become an issue. But that's what I have to say about it. All right. Well, that is going to be it. I do need to get $6 to put into my savings challenge. But yeah, I mean, if you can get past the beginning of it, I think, you know, the book, I mean, it's got some really cool stuff going on now, you know. Zeta's got a gun to his head. He's at the people that eat children and worship, I guess, the devil. I don't know what they worship. They're crazy. But yeah, they got some crazy stuff going on in there, and that's fine. Now I'm into it. But yeah, I almost like, I mean, I'm gonna finish a book. If I'm gonna start a book, I'm never gonna do not finish. I'm gonna make it through it, but doesn't mean I'm gonna like it. And I'm glad that it got better. That's all I can say. I'm glad it got better because I was not liking it. Alright, guys. I thought it was crazy. I just thought it was insane. Alright, guys. Well, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Sorry if I offend anybody. I didn't mean to. And I hope everybody understands that I don't condone any kind of rape, trafficking, non-consensual anything. That's a horrible thing to do to somebody, is to take their, you know, their choice away. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.